name is Jerica Macy Tolentino, and I am the first reporter in this group. So before I start my report, I will show you some picture that connected in my topic. So what can you say about the picture? As you can see in the first picture, there are children who is desperate to get their own food. There is no enough food, and it can also be seen in the picture that they belong in the poor people. So how about in the next picture? As you can see in the upper part of the picture, they are rich people with lots of money, and in the lower part, there are poor people who needs help. There is no job, they are hungry. So we conclude in this picture that there's an inequality of distribution of money. So these two pictures connected my topic about the poverty and the economic inequality. So what is poverty? So poverty is a state or condition in which a person or community lacks the financial resources. And it describes the situation where a person have not enough money to meet his basic needs, such as food, shelter, clothing, and healthcare. So what are the causes of poverty? So here in our country, Philippines, has been linked to a bad governance, corruption, and a political system dominated by political dynasties. And also natural disaster have poverty in the Philippines. And also low earning capacity of the poor and their limited access to regular and productive jobs. So next is, what is economic inequality? So economic inequality is the unequal distribution of income and opportunity between different groups in the societies. So it is a concern in almost all countries around the world and concerned with inequalities in standard of living, such as inequalities in income and wealth, education, health, and nutrition. So some causes of economic inequality are differences in the marginal production of each factor of production, differences in tax structures, human capital and social capital, inheritance, discrimination, access to financial markets, and the bargaining power within economic and social unit. So economic inequality includes the income inequality. So what is income inequality? So when one group receives a disproportionate, it means unequal share of total income or wealth than others. And it is not the same as wealth inequality. So the former involves salaries, wages, while the latter involves net worth. So connection with the corruption, a main cause of income inequality in the Philippines, it is a political culture. It is a spoil system which is based on relationship between leaders or political parties to other politicians and local elites. So remember, the main difference between poverty and income inequality is that poverty means the people do not have enough resources or income to provide the basic necessities of life. Whereas income inequality means some people of a country have more income and resources than others. So what is the poverty line? So poverty line is the minimum amount of money a person needs to fulfill the basic necessities of life like shelter and food. When families are below the poverty line, they qualify for help from the government. So as you can see in the picture, the poverty line is boundaries of non-poor and poor people. So in different countries have varying ways of calculating the poverty line, including how expensive it is to rent or buy a home and what the average cost of food and other necessities is. So if a person is above the poverty line, the government believes their income is enough to pay for a home, clothes, medicine, food, and utilities. Being below the poverty line means officially living in the poverty or being poor. The next is, what is poverty rate and how to calculate it? So poverty rate is a ratio of number of people in a given age group whose income falls below the poverty line. So how to calculate it? So in the United States, it is calculated by comparing a person or family's income to set a poverty threshold or minimum amount of income to cover the basic needs. So the U.S. Census Bureau is the government agency in charge of measuring poverty. So this is the example of the U.S. poverty rate since 1960. The U.S. poverty rate since 1960. So the poverty rate fell dramatically during the 1960s, rose in the early 1980s and early 1990s, and after declining the 1990s through mid-2000, rose to 15.9% in 2011, which is close to the 1960 levels. So in 2013, the poverty dropped slightly to 14.5%. So next is the example table compares the poverty rates for different groups in 2011. So as you will see, when we delve further into this number, poverty rates are relatively low for whites, for the elderly, for the well-educated, female-headed household. Poverty rates for female, Hispanic, and African Americans are much higher than for whites. So while Hispanic and African Americans have a higher percentage of individuals living in poverty than others, most people in the United States living below the poverty lines are white. So as you can see in the table, the group of females have a poverty rate of 15.8% and the males have 13.1%. The group of white is 9.6%, the black 27.1%, and Hispanic is 23.5%. So this table is a poverty rates by groups in 2013. So the next table is about age. So the group of under age 18 got 19.9% of poverty rate. Ages in 18 to 24, 20.6%. Age of 25 to 34 got 15.9%, and so on. So next is, how do economists measure in poverty low income countries? So the World Bank set two poverty lines for low income countries around the world. So one poverty line is set at an income $1.25 per day per person. The other is at $2 per day. By comparison, the US 2015 poverty line of $20,090 annually for a family of 3 works out to $18.35 per person per day. Here is the example table of poverty lines for low-income countries mid-2000. So share of population below $1.25 per day and share of population below $2 per day. So in Brazil in 2009, 6.1% and 10.8%. In China, 11.8% and 27.2%. In Egypt, 1.7% and 15.4%. India in 2010 got 32.7% and 68.8%. Mexico in year 2010, 0.7% and 4.5%. In Nigeria in 2010, they got 68% and 84.5%. So the next topic is a poverty trap. So what is poverty trap? It's an anti-poverty program set up so that government benefits decline substantially as people earn more income. As a result, working provide little financial gain. So poverty trap. So when people are provided with food, shelter, healthcare, income, and other necessities, assistance may reduce their incentive to work. So consider a program to fight poverty that works in this reasonable surrounding manner. The government provides assistance to the poor, but as the poor earn income to support themselves, the government reduces the level of assistance it provides. With such a program, every time a poor person earns $100, the person loses $100 in government support. So as a result, the person experiences no net gain for working. So the economists call this problem poverty trap. So this figure illustrates a single mother who earned $8 an hour with the 2 children. So first, consider the labor-leisure budget constraint that this family faces in a situation without government assistance. So on the horizontal axis is hours of leisure or time spent with family's responsibilities. So increasing in quantity from right to left. Also on the horizontal axis is the number of hours at paid work, going from 0 hours on the right to the maximum of 2,500 hours on the left. So on the vertical axis is the amount of income per year, rising from low to higher amount of income. So the budget constraint line shows that at 0 hours of leisure and 2,500 hours of work, so the maximum amount of income is $20,000. So $8 per hour times 2,500 hours is equal to $20,000. So at the other extreme of the budget constraint line, an individual would work 0 hours, earn 0 income but enjoy 2,500 hours of leisure. At point A on the budget constraint line, by working 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, the utility maximizing choice is it to work a total of 2,000 hours per year and earn $16,000. So now suppose that a government anti-poverty program guarantees every family with a single mother and 2 children $18,000 in income. So this is represented on the graph by a horizontal line at $18,000. So with this program, each time the mother earns $1,000, the government will deduct $1,000 of its support. So this table shows that what will happen to each combination of work and government support. So the poverty trap in action, the original choice is 500 hours of leisure, so 2,000 hours of work at point A, and income of $16,000. With the guarantee income is $18, this family would receive $18,000 whether it provides 0 hours of work or 2,000 hours of work. Only if the family provide, say, 2,300 hours of work does its incomes rise above the guaranteed level of $18,000. And even then, the marginal gain to income from working many hours is small. So below the figure is the table of total income at various combination of work and support of the government. So the next figure is loosening the poverty trap, reducing government assistance by 50 cents for every $1 earned. So on the original labor leisure opportunity set, the lower budget set shown by the smaller dashed line in the figure. So the preferred choice B is 500 hours of leisure and $16,000 of income. Then the government created an anti-poverty program that guarantees $18,000 in income even to those who work 0 hours, shown by the larger dashed line. So, in addition, every $1 earned means phasing out 50 cents of benefits. So, this program leads to the higher budget set, which the diagram shows. So, the hope is that this program will provide incentives to work the same or more hours despite receiving income assistance. However, it is possible that the recipients will choose a point on the new budget set like S with less work, more leisure and greater income, or a point like R with the same work and greater income. So the next table is the labor-leisure trade-off with assistance reduced by 50 cents for every dollar earned. So how does the poverty trap discourage people from working? Because of the fact that the people are getting a level of financial assistance, any work effort and the amount of money given by the government will fall subsequently as they income more. So, how can the effect of the poverty trap be reduced? So, poverty trap can be reduced by phasing out government benefits more slowly, as well as by imposing requirements for work as a condition of receiving benefits at a time limit on benefits. So the next topic will consider a variety of government support programs focused especially on the poor, including welfare, SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, Medicaid, and the Earned Income Tax Credit.
Good day, sir. Good day, everyone. I am Miss Christine Pearl Tiarbeta from BSBA FM2A. So imagine walking a high tightrope high above the city. The thin wire can be intimidating, but knowing that there is a safety net below, it provides you a peace of mind, right? This is much like an economic safety net. The economic safety net, exists to catch individuals and families who are going through a financial hardship. It also prevents us from falling into an extreme poverty. Again, it prevents us from falling into an extreme poverty, which is kanang case karon. So, the safety net is a collection of government programs aimed at offering temporary support and protection to individuals without employment or income. So, what is the ultimate objective of this? The ultimate objective of this is to ensure us, or to ensure everyone, that we need to maintain at least a minimum standard living, regardless sa mga personal circumstances na to. So, the phrase safety net is an apt metaphor. So, what is an apt metaphor? From the word apt, it means suitable in the circumstances. Why? Because as these programs, they are intended to catch people. Again, they are intended to catch people falling on hard times. Pero gani siya og kanang ay mahulog imong saloon. Ingana na. It's much like catches it is much like catches a trapeze artist who sleeps like ganon. Now, the safety net is not one one size fits all. So what is one size fits all? The one size fits all is like a product that would fit in all instances. Magasutubo sa tanan cases. But in our case, it is not one size fits all solution. Why? Because the safety net consists of a variety of programs that designed to cater different needs, to cater different problems of the individuals in this planet. Diba? So the common types of the safety net include non-contributory pension, in-kind transfers, cash transfers, income tax credit, and lastly the school feeding program. So the non-contributory pension is a type of retirement plan that is not required employee contribution. The in-kind transfer is a transfer of a good or services rather than a cash facilitated by a government to its poorer citizen. And cash transfer is a transfer payment transfer payment of money to the eligible person. And the income tax credit is a provision that reduces taxpayers' financial tax bill. The school feeding programs work to alleviate child hunger, cognitive development. So moreover, the specific programs such as the Social Supplemental Food Program for Women, Infants and Children, often called WIC, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or the SNAP, is also known as food stamps. So, saan provide ng SNAP? The SNAP provides food benefits to low-income families. So, ito na sila nag-provide na sila mga benefits sa mga kanang families na kanang gamay ra nga mga income ang ginadawat. It is to supplement their grocery budgets so they can afford the nutritious food that is essential to health and well-being. So as with all this public policy, striking the right balance is the key. So this is still an ongoing challenge for policymakers and interviewing subject to economists. The economists studying the impact of these programs on individual behavior and societal welfare. So again, what is safety net? The safety net, it helps or it catches individuals from falling into an extreme poverty. That's what safety net. The world is full of inequality. There is a racial inequality, gender inequality, health, education, political, and of course, economic inequality. Some people are rich, some people are poor. And it can seem pretty impossible to fix. So, what is inequality? Or what is income inequality? So, the extent is to which income is distributed in an even manner. So, from the word inequality, kina-distribute ang money in an uneven equality. Kumbaga, dili pantay ang pag-distribute. So, if we are talking about income inequality, again, we are talking about how the new stock is getting distributed. The point is, they are not the same. Yung ana ang income inequality. So, example, these 10 people represent everyone on the planet, and they are lined up according to income. Poorest over here and the richest over here. This group represents the poorest 20%. The second group, poorest 20%, the middle 20%, and so on. So if we distributed $100 based on income trends, this group would get 80 of the dollars, 83 of the dollars. And the next group would get $10. The middle gets 4. The second gets $2, and the poorest will get $1. So from the example, diba, dili even or dili equal ang pag-distribute sa income. Dili inequally. So, yeah. Sige, kana pa lang example makita na nato or masabtan na nato unsa ng income inequality. Let's dive into the data. We'll start by mentioning Max Lorenz, who created a graph to show income inequality. Along with the bottom, we have the percent of household from 0 to 100%. And along the right, we have the percent share of income. So this straight line here represents perfect income equality. So every household earns the same income. It's really the goal when different jobs have different incomes. So people have incentive to become a doctor or an engineer. The job society really values. So this curve called the Lorenz curve. It helps us to visualize the depth of inequality. For 2010, the U.S. Census Bureau found that the poorest 20% of Americans made 3.3% of the income, and the richest 20% made over 50% of the income. So that's pretty unequal, right? But has it always been like this? Well, in 1970, the bottom group earned 4.1% of the income, and the top earned 43.3% by 1990. So things were even less equal to the 2010. Numbers are just continuation of the trend. And it isn't just the poorest group that's losing grounds over those 40 years. Each of the bottom groups of or 80% households earn smaller and smaller shares of the total income. From the Lorenz curve, we can calculate the most commonly used measure of income equality, the Gini index. Now, without jumping into too much of the math, it's basically the size of the gap between the equal distribution of income and the actual distribution of income. Now, 0 represents complete equality, and 100% and 100 represents complete inequality. The Industrial Revolution created a lot of inequality between countries, but today globalization and international trade are accelerating. So most economists agree that globalization has helped the world's poorest people, but it also helped the rich people a lot more. So there are other reasons inequality is growing. Economists point to something called skill-biased technological change. The jobs created in modernized economies are more technology-based, so generally requiring new skills. Workers that have the education and skills to do those jobs Do those jobs thrive while others are left behind? As economics develop and manufacturing jobs more overseas, low skill, low pay, high skill, high pay work are the only jobs left. People with few skills fall behind in terms of income. So there are reasons the income gap is widening. The reduced influence of unions tax policies. And that's how we describe the income inequality. Thank you.
How do you measure wealth versus income inequality? So, for example, wealth is the sum of value of all assets. So, including money bank account, financial investment. Like for example, pension fund. Like kanang nagahulog ka ana every monthly. Para pag mamatay ka is na kay ma-receive ana nga kwarta is ang ma-value ana is kanang kung pila madungagan ng imong ma-receive ana nga kwarta. Then another example, retirement person ka, then nagahulog ka dito sa SSS nimo, then mura gyapon na siya ang purpose ana is every year gihapon is naa kay madawat ana kung naa kay mga kinahanglanon. Then income inequality is muna siya ang imong income is ang imong na-receive often muna imong na-receive every month nga imong gi-annual. So mo nang imong income is a flow of money nga imong na-receive sa imong like for example kanang imong gi-invest mo na siya kanang imong gi-invest sa mga like other na mga mga pension fund or like social security, ang imong gina credit cards or ang imong na-retire, ang imong nadawat sa imong retirement. Income mo na ang value nga imong gi-invest every month nga imong ginahulog-hulugan. Then mao na dayon tong imong ma-receive nga every year na kay madawat nga kwarta. Katong gi-invest nimo nga kwarta, dili to mawala or dili to makulangan kay naraman to dito as a bank account nimo. Then pag makuha nimo siya every year, kung pila tay mong gihulog, mora pud tong imong ma-receive nga kwarta. Individually sa ato, nag-invest gyud tag kwarta or nagahulog ta dito sa atong SSS or sa atong pension fund or sa atong health nagahulog-hulog ta ana kay pero what if kung unsay mahitabo sa ato or unsay mahitabo sa atong nag-invest kibay sa kwarta is naa siya makuha ana nga na siya ma-receive ana nga kwarta. Is dili siya mawala is naara gihapon dito sa bank account nimo. Ulit sa ato naga-invest kita kwarta, nagahulog dito sa ato SSS or sa atong pension fund kay para ug unsay mahitabo sa ato or maunsa pa is naatay madawat nga kwarta, natay ma-receive ana nga kwarta. Ang imong income or ang imong ang imong money is dili siya mahilabtan kay naka-secure dito sa bank account ang imong money nga imong gina-invest every month. Income dili ra pud na tanan sa imong gi-invest nga like for example pension fund or sa mga security sa SSS nimo. katong income pwede po nimo siya i-invest sa house and lot or sa balay nga imo ipatukod ana. Pwede ra pud ka ana mag-invest in yung balay. Mura gyapon na siya. Mura gyapon ka anang mura gyapon na siya kanang ginahulog nimo sa pensyon. Mura gyapon na siya sa house nga imong gina-invest nga and in every month nagyapon ka na makuha nga kwarta kung ang inyong sabot kung monthly ba ang iyang ginabayaran. Monthly ang iyang schedule nga pagbayad sa imong gi-invest, sa imong gipa-invest ana nga balay. Redistribution means example, nagtrabaho ko sa isa ka company, then ang akong sahod ana or akong sweldo is higher income. Then naga-provide ko sa mga lower income is nag siya gitaw nga redistribution. Nagahatag ko sa mga lower income. For example, sa mga taxes. Gagmay ang ilang madawat ana nila nga kwarta. Then natay government policies na maghatag ta sa mga poor welfare ana. Munang gitawag nga inequality ang atong kwarta kay ako nga nagtrabaho is higher income ko. Then katong mga taxes na gagmay ilang na income, motong gitawag nga lower income. Munang gitawag nga redistribution is kay nagahatag ko sa mga lower income. Another sa mga other na mga services nga gagmay ilang na receive ang kwarta, which is lower ang ilang makuha nga income. So motong katong higher income ang madawat, pwede sila mag-provide sa mga gagmay na mga income, like for example taxes, mga other na mga services na gagmay ang ilang ma-earn ang kwarta, pwede ka dito ang mag-provide. Kay naaman tayo government policies nga maghatag og mga hinabang or sa mga poor sa mga ang ilang mga na-earn na kwarta. Pwede ka dito ang mag-donate og kwarta nimo. Nga dako labi na sa mga dagko na mga sahod or sa mga sweldo. Another example of redistribution, public services and monetary policies. Katong imong ginahatag nga kwarta, katong imong gina-provide na kwarta is makatabang to sa atong community, sa atong lugar. Labi na katong sa gagmay na mga na-income, pwede ta dito amo tabang. Mo nang gitawag nga redistribution, providing lower income. Dili tanan quality ang atong ma-income. So mo nang gitawag nga inequality income. The ladder of opportunity. For example, sa atong generation karon, kung wala kay effort or wala kay talent is wala kay mapala. So dapat determine ka sa imong pag-grows up, sa imong pagpaningkamot. So for example, isa ko ka estudyante. Then kailangan ko mo-eskwela elementary to high school and to college, while parents helps out by supporting education. So naana sa akong pagpugi sa akong pag-eskwela kay para unsay mga opportunity na mahuman ko is mag-grab na ako tanan. Kay bisag ang atong parent nga wala na nagsuporta sa ato is kabalo na taman ning kamot sa atong kaugalingon, sa atong pagpaeskwela, sa atong kaugalingon, sa atong pagpaningkamot, sa atong pag everyday nato nga kinahanglanon, kaya nato buhaton without parents nga magtabang sa ato. Dapat kita independent kita kay para kita makatuon kita kung unsaon pag-grab sa mga opportunity or sa atong pagpaningkamot. Kay para kung unsay atong maabot or unsay atong mga makaya is pwede na kita mutabang sa atong ginikanan. So dapat kung unsay mga interest nato or unsay maabot sa ato is dapat atong i-grab ang mga opportunity nga gihatag sa ato. Another example, labi na sa mga interest nato nga mga butang is dapat ginagrab nato na ang mga opportunity kay labi na makatabang na sa atong kaugalingon ug sa uban nato ug makatabang pud kita sa mga uban na mga naglisod. So mo na ang example sa the ladder of opportunity. Labi na sa mga gipa eskwela diha, opportunity gyud nga mag-eskwela kita nga dapat ginagrab gyud nila kung unsa ihatag sa ila maning kamo, labi na sa education purpose. So dapat labi na kana sanay mga makaya is dapat ginagrab nila ang mga opportunity. Labi na kay kasagaran karon bisa ginasuportahan sila sa ilang mga parents is ginabaliwala lang nila. Munang kung education na gani ang mga opportunity nga ihatag sa imo dapat ginagrab na gid nila. Kay mas need na sa ato pag manarbaho kita or asa kita mapaingon.